Welcome to the Lost in History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. September 1945. And it shows a Japanese soldier walking through an area of Hiroshima that had been severely affected during a military event at the end of World War II. A nanny watches a baby in a wire cage hung outside the window of a high apartment in June of the 1930s. This type of structure was used by some families to provide fresh air and sunlight to children in urban settings, especially where there was no easy access to outdoor areas. Recorded on May 13, 1912, the image shows young workers in Rock Hill, South Carolina, photographed by Lewis Hine. The record shows children replacing full spindles with empty ones in a textile mill. In 1896, men and boys gathered around the wreckage of a train at Buckeye Park in the city of Lancaster, Ohio. The record shows the curiosity and attention that railroad accidents drew at the time, when train transport was one of the main means for travel and freight in the United States. Dorothy Counts walks toward Harry Harding High School in Charlotte, facing taunts from classmates. The record, made in 1957, shows her first day as the first black student to attend an all-white school in the United States. An airplane with the engine running on top of a transport truck in New York City or Chicago in 1916. The scene shows a method used at the time to move aircraft in urban areas or for public demonstrations. A pilot landed close to spectators at an air event in Bridgeport. The scene shows the aircraft coming near the public during the show, reflecting the experimental nature and closeness of aviation demonstrations in the first decades of the 20th centuries. A British soldier proudly poses, showing his damaged helmet. The record, made in 1917, shows the item with visible impact marks. The scene reflects the importance of equipment for the personal safety of service members. The steamship Princess May ran aground on a reef at Sentinel Island in Alaska on August 5, 1910. The image shows the vessel tilted on the rocks with part of the hull out of the water. An aerial view of Edinburgh, recorded in 1920. To capture striking images like this, the photographer positioned himself outside the aircraft during the flight, using the photographic equipment of the time. An electrically heated vest created for United States Traffic Police in 1932, the equipment was powered by electrical contacts embedded in the street, providing heat to keep officers warm while working outdoors on cold days. Recorded in 1901, the image shows Annie Edson Taylor being helped after completing an unprecedented passage over the falls. She was the first person to do it and survive. A French woman has her hair shaved by civilians as part of a public action. The record, made in 1944, took place after the end of the German occupation in France. The practice was used as a way to mark people accused of collaborating with foreign forces. A model tests a spiral electric bra at the 20th International Exhibition of Inventions in Brussels on March 13, 1971. The event brought together innovative creations from different countries, showing the public curious ideas and new technological applications for everyday use. The image shows Jack, a baboon trained to work as a railroad signalman in South Africa. The record, made in the late 1800s, shows the animal next to a human worker on the job Jack helped with track-changing operations and lever handling. A morphine application kit from the Victorian era used for medical purposes in the 19th century. The set includes syringes and containers carefully stored in a portable case, reflecting the design and health practices of the time. In Boston, a group of newspaper delivery boys and their dog were getting ready to start the day. At 5 in the morning on a Sunday, the scene was recorded by photographer Louis Wicks Hine, known for documenting aspects of daily life in the early 20th century. In 1945, the image shows an elephant helping load supplies for an American aircraft. The record shows the animal positioned near the airplane while moving the cargo. The scene shows the use of different resources for logistical support in operations of the time. The chief engineer of the Golden Gate Bridge ordered a safety net to be installed under the structure during construction. This measure saved 19 people from accidental falls, becoming an important example of care for worker safety. Napoleon's triple pistol, made in 1802. The weapon had 3 barrels in a single mechanism, allowing successive shots without needing to reload immediately. This kind of piece is a rare example of early 19th century arms engineering and was part of Napoleon Bonaparte's personal collections. In 1909, a pig named Icarus flew with John Moore Brabazon, showing in a playful way that pigs could, in fact, fly. The flight was part of a light and curious experiment by the British aviator, becoming a famous and remembered episode in aviation history. The Mobot, short for Mobile Robot, created by the electronics laboratories of Hughes Aircraft, helps a woman get dressed in California in 1961. The robot was developed to demonstrate practical applications of automation and remote control, and the scene was recorded by Life magazine as part of a story on technological advances of the time. Archaeologist Howard Carter. At the moment he opens the innermost chamber of the tomb of Tutankhamun, the record, made in 1922 near Luxor, Egypt, shows part of one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. Fanny Cochrane Smith, an Aboriginal Tasmanian woman, recorded her voice singing on a phonograph. The record, made in 1903, resulted in the only known audio in the Tasmanian language. The recording was made on wax cylinders, a technology used at the time to preserve sound. On April 2, 1845, French physicists Louis Fizeau and Léon Foucault made the first known photographic record of the sun. The capture was made using the daguerreotype technique, one of the pioneering processes of photography. Studio portraits from the Victorian era show babies posing with half of the mother's face hidden. The record, made in the 19th century, shows a photographic technique used to keep the child calm. During the session, mothers were covered or positioned to be partly invisible in the image. Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali appear together in a meeting recorded in New York City. The record, made in 1963, shows the two in a moment of conversation and ease. Both were figures of great social and cultural influence in the United States. The image shows the music groups The Supremes, Martha and the Vandellas, The Temptations, and Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. The record shows artists gathered in a notable moment for the popular music of the time. These groups were part of the Motown label catalog, known for its role in popularizing soul music. This photograph, recorded in Japan in 1891, shows the Tsarevich Nicholas Alexandrovich Romanov in a traditional rickshaw. He was the son of Emperor Alexander III and was traveling in the country during an official visit. Russia, 1914. Grigory Rasputin and some of his associates. The photograph shows the Russian mystic, an influential figure at the imperial court during the last years of the Russian Empire, next to people in his circle. In 1977, it shows an IMSAI computer, equipped with a disk controller, and the CP/M operating system. The model cost about $5,995 at the time and represented cutting-edge technology for personal and business use. Cygan, the robot from Italy created in the 1950s, it stood more than 6.5 feet tall and could move, lift objects, and interact with people. Cygan was shown at fairs and events as an example of the potential of robotics and mechanical engineering of the time. Atok, the robot created by Ben Skora in the 1970s. The invention had abilities such as speaking, moving, and doing simple tasks. Developed as a personal project for innovation and entertainment. The first Wendy's location opened in Columbus, Ohio, offering hamburgers made to order. The record, made in 1969, shows the restaurant front and its characteristic style of the time. The store Hennes and Mauritz, known today as H&M, appears in its early operating period. The record, made in 1947, shows the first location opened in Västerås, Sweden. At the time, the focus was selling women's clothing at affordable prices. Arnold Schwarzenegger, at 16 years old, taking part in his first bodybuilding competition. The record captures the beginning of a path that would make him one of the most recognized athletes and actors in the world. A combined television, radio, and cocktail bar unit from 1951. This kind of multi-function furniture reflected the design and lifestyle of the time, joining entertainment and hospitality in a single piece. The photograph preserves an example of technology designed to make everyday tasks easier. Recorded in the 1950s, the image shows the power mower of the future in operation. The design reflected the era's view of modernization and practicality in yard care. In 1954, travelers could install a rest bed in their cars, an aluminum structure that extended above the seats from the front to the rear. The accessory made the car a more comfortable space for long trips, reflecting creativity and innovations aimed at travel. The image shows French inventor Alain Dame, presenting his spaghetti spinner, a device created to automatically twirl pasta strands and make eating easier. The record shows the utensil working during a demonstration. January 1950. The image shows engineer Ted Spence demonstrating the hairline brush, a polisher created for care of a bald head. January 1950. The image shows engineer Ted Spence demonstrating the hairline brush, a polisher created for care of a bald head. The laryngophone, a telephone designed to block noise and transmit vibrations from the vocal cords when pressed against the throat or the cheek. Recorded in 1929, it shows the device being used to demonstrate how it works. A newspaper transmitted by wireless telegraph was received in Missouri, where children are seen reading the publication's Kids page. This event marked an advance in communication, allowing news to reach different regions more quickly through wireless transmission technology already in the early 20th century. The first hot dog served by the Carl's Jr. chain marked the start of its business. Made in 1941, it shows the snack prepared in a simple way, in a small stand. Selling this item helped attract customers and build the base of the business. The clap skate, invented by R. Handel in 1936, had a movable heel plate. Although created decades earlier, it gained wide recognition only in 1996, when it revolutionized skating by allowing more efficient movements and higher speed in competitions. A two-horn device in Washington, District of Columbia, was used to detect aircraft at a distance before radar existed. The device worked by amplifying sounds from the sky, allowing identification of approaching airplanes at a time when acoustic detection was one of the few options available for that purpose. Glass tops for convertibles, similar to canopies used on military airplanes, began to be shown in Los Angeles. The record, made in the 20th century, shows the new accessory installed on a vehicle to demonstrate how it works. In 1911, the Richardson tandem, biplane seaplane, is at the center of the image. At the far left and far right are the Richardson brothers. The record shows one of the first aircraft able to take off and land on water, representing an advance in early 20th century aviation. In the 20th century, the image shows Mexican artist Frida Kahlo next to one of her self-portraits. Frida Kahlo is known for works that combine symbolic elements and personal references. Street lamps in Paris in 1888, recorded by Émile Bauchy. The image shows public lighting of the time, which already used electric technology in some areas of the city. This record documents a milestone in urban development and in the modernization of infrastructure in major capitals at the end of the 19th century. A rear view from 1940 in New York City. The back of numbers 68 and 70. Greenwich Street shows mansards and a stable extension behind number 73 Washington Street on the left. September 1940. A study of Greenwich Street in New York City. The image shows the view to the south along the west side of Greenwich Street, toward the Battery area, passing an elevated structure. On La Rambla, in Barcelona, in the 1920s, It was common to find people offering to write letters and documents for those who couldn't read or write. Workers reinstall the clock at the information kiosk in Grand Central in New York City in 1954. The station, opened in 1913, is one of the city's best-known architectural and transportation landmarks. In the 1890s, it shows the buildings located at numbers 21 to 23 Pearl Street. The image preserves architectural details characteristic of the period, such as ornate facades and wide windows. Kevsur warriors of Georgia take part in combat training wearing traditional armor. The record, made in the early 1900s, shows outfits made of chain links and characteristic accessories. The Kevsur are known for preserving historic clothing and practices tied to defending their territory. In the 1890s, the image shows ice cutters in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It shows workers removing blocks of ice from frozen surfaces for storage. The use of ice to preserve food was already known by ancient civilizations. In the early 1900s, the image shows a reader reciting a newspaper to factory workers. The practice began in cigar factories in Cuba in the 1860s and later spread to places like Ybor City in the United States. The goal was to inform and entertain workers during the workday. In 1881, the image shows a man next to a large wine storage vessel in the Kakheti region of Georgia. Kakheti is known for its wine tradition that goes back thousands of years. The image shows young competitors driving 1-horsepower vehicles at the Indianapolis Speedway. Recorded in 1950, it shows participants going around the track at about 20 miles per hour. These races were meant for fun and for learning to drive. A record made in 1939 in Texas shows the moment before mixing a malted milkshake. This kind of skill was part of the relaxed service in places of that kind. Made in 1944, it shows the scene while the husband was away due to military service. The moment reflects how families adapted to handle extra daily tasks. Women took on many responsibilities traditionally associated with men during this period. The Abilene track team in Texas poses together with the motto, "The higher the hair, the faster the runner." The record, made in 1967, shows the athletes wearing the big hairstyles of the time. The phrase was used playfully to boost team spirit. Barack Obama visits his step-grandmother, Sarah Ogwell Onyango Obama, at her home in Kenya. The record, made in 1988, shows a family meeting moment before his entry into political life. Sarah Ogwell Onyango. Obama was a respected figure in her community. Robert Duvall holds lines for Marlon Brando on the set of The Godfather in the United States in 1971. The image shows a behind-the-scenes moment from the production of the film, which would become one of the most recognized and influential in cinema history. Charles S. L. Baker and his assistant show how a radiator heating system works. The record, made in 1906, shows the setup built to demonstrate heat circulation. The invention aimed to offer a more efficient way to heat indoor spaces. Gas stations in Kyiv had a rounded design that looked like flying saucers. The record, made between the late 1970s and the early 1980s, shows architecture with a futuristic look. The structures had a circular roof supported by a central column. Two people wear painted eyes as part of their costumes at the Art Students League Ball in New York City. The record, made in 1955, shows a creative moment from the event. The celebration brought together students and artists in a setting of ease and visual experimentation. This photograph was recorded in 1965 and shows the famous shoe phone used by the character Maxwell Smart from the television series Get Smart. The unusual accessory became one of the most remembered symbols of the show, which combined humor and creativity in its stories. A photograph from 1931 shows Greta Garbo as Mata Hari in a scene recorded inside an old Hollywood mansion. The production was part of the golden age of American cinema, and Garbo's performance became one of her most remembered works. The record preserves a family leisure moment and offers a glimpse of lifestyle and daily practices of the time. This photograph, recorded in the United Kingdom around the 1930s, shows a family riding in an open vehicle. An image recorded in the 1990s shows a camping moment using the car itself as shelter. This practice became popular among travelers seeking practicality and mobility, allowing exploration of different places without relying on traditional lodging. Around 1900, the image shows a woman taking a self-portrait using a Kodak Box Brownie camera. The record shows the photographic equipment typical of the early 20th century. This camera model was known for its simple use and affordable price for the general public. The record was made during the Great Depression and is part of a Red Cross photo collection. Recorded around 1930, the image shows a farmer's daughter in the state of Arkansas preparing food on an old stove. Recorded in the 20th century, the image shows an engineer from the Dumont Company demonstrating a simple dialing method in a fully automatic system. The record shows the equipment used and the control panel in operation. In the 20th century, the image shows inventor Marn Smith presenting a special chair for sunbathing outdoors. Solutions like this aimed to combine leisure and ergonomics in outdoor activities. The invention reflects creativity applied to everyday objects. In 1926, the image shows a Lufthansa flight attendant helping a passenger board a Fokker-Grulich airplane from the Hansa fleet. The record captures the boarding moment, with the door open and part of the fuselage visible. Recorded in 1930, the image shows a flight attendant serving meals to passengers seated in wicker chairs on board a Model A aircraft. The record shows the inside of the airplane, with tables fixed to the floor for greater stability during the flight. The record shows the simple front of the building, typical of small North American towns. Of the time, Dorothea Lange became known for documenting everyday life and social aspects during the 20th century. Recorded in 1979, the image shows a street scene in the city of Kabul, Afghanistan, photographed by François Lochon. The record shows pedestrians, vehicles, and buildings. Typical of the period, the streets display architectural and commercial elements, characteristic of the region. The image shows the simple home of a World War I veteran, located overlooking Nueces Bay in Corpus Christi, Texas. The record was made by photographer Russell Lee, known for documenting aspects of everyday life in the United States. In the early 1900s, the image shows a baby walker made of wicker. The object has a light frame and openings that allowed the child to move with support. This type of walker was common in homes and gardens, allowing babies to practice their first steps. Around 1900, the image shows a horse-drawn wagon traveling on a rough trail in Canyon de Chelly, Arizona. The record was made by photographer Frederick Monson, known for documenting landscapes and cultures of the American Southwest. Children cool off and have fun at the Madonna House Nursery in New York City, while a nun sprays water with a hose. The record, made in 1941, shows a simple moment of play on a hot day. Activities like this helped keep children active and comfortable during the summer. Princeton developed a record player connected to a system available in single, double, and triple versions. The design allowed different setups for audio playback, serving various home and professional uses. This model represented technological innovation applied to musical entertainment of the time. Backstage at the Mark Foy's store fashion show in Sydney around 1947, the image shows models and production staff getting ready to present the new collections. Clearing a logjam at Garrick Pitch in 1951. The scene shows workers acting to free the flow of timber, a common task in logging and river transport areas. This kind of work required coordination and physical strength, and was an essential part of the lumber industry of the time. Sale of chicks and ducklings in Galway. Around 1910, the scene portrays a local market where vendors offer young birds for home raising. This kind of trade was common in rural and urban communities of the time, serving families who raised animals for their own use or for future sale. Scooter, 1916. The record shows an early model of this personal mode of transport, used both for leisure and for short trips. The simple design reflected the technology available at the time and the growing popularity of light and practical vehicles in the early 20th century. A baby stroller equipped with a radio, including an antenna and a speaker, designed to keep the child entertained. Developed in the United States in 1921, the model joined function and technology, reflecting the curious innovations aimed at comfort and children's leisure in the early 20th century